We go to modern Sudan, we can see Khartoum. This is the capital of Sudan today. And this is where the Blue Nile and the White Nile join. So we talked about the Blue Nile that's coming out of Lake Tana in Ethiopia. And the White Nile that's coming down from Jinja, like we talked about last week in Uganda. This is where those two rivers come together, join into the Nile, and it flows all the way out to the Mediterranean Sea. Now we talk about Taseti. We talk about Taseti, and Taseti meaning land of the bow. So we're going to go into the Taseti campaign of this African right here, Menkaperaj Hudimus III of the 18th dynasty. It was this African right here who was probably the most vicious military general in world history. Like we talked about before in the class that we gave about 3 weeks ago. He never lost a battle, so he was undefeated on the battlefield. And not only did he conquer all the way up into Asia Minor, okay, you see Syria, Canaan, you also see he also conquered down into Kush. And when he conquered down into Kush, he established this site that's called Jebel Barka, called by our ancestors Juwab. Juwab meaning pure mountain or sacred mountain. And it's at this site that Menkaperaj Hudimus III said that Amen, who was the black African god that represented the hidden spirit behind all things, he said that Amen came from here. So this is that the Egyptians or the Kemetic Africans in Nile Valley saying that their god that they worship or pay homage to comes from down here in the south in Sudan or in Kush. So this is Africans in the north saying that their deity came from the south. If they came from Asia, or they came from Europe or the Mediterranean, why wouldn't they say that deity came from there? Why would they say that Amen came from the south? And this is documented on the Pot of Victory Stela, where this is actually written out, that talks about his battles in the other lands. He's paying homage to Amen. And he's coming back here where he erected this stela, paying homage to Amen. He documented this on the Pot of Victory Stela. This is the stela where he talks about his victories over the Asiatics and also over the Nubians. Now, people may ask the question, why was he fighting the Nubians? Well, Nubia had vast resources that they needed in the Nile Valley and ancient Kemet. So, many times, they would have conversations over these resources, primarily over gold, ebony, ivory, and other things. They also sent expeditions down into Punt and other areas, which is modern-day Somalia. But when we talk about warfare in ancient Africa, many times when we study African history, we tend to focus on the peaceful parts of African history. And we neglect the warfare. People talk about when we ruled and how we ruled. Well, you got to understand, in order for African people to rule for so long, they had to crack some heads too. It wasn't always about, being peaceful. Sometimes you had to know how to deal with people. And Menkaperaj Hudimus knew how to deal with his enemy. When we got here, many people looked at this structure right here and did not know what this represents. This is actually a cobra or wajet in ancient times. And you can see the crown of the cobra right here. Now I actually climbed to the top of this mountain, and you can see us climbing up. You can see the other pyramids and the Potter in the background there. And this is a picture at the top, so you can see how far we are up here. But it was something that came over my spirit, just being up here, being in the presence of Amen, or the energy of Amen, that our ancestors said came from here. Now being up here, you can actually see, you see the Nile River, and you can see pretty much all the way to another site called Nuri, that's on the other side of the Nile. And also, this is an aerial view of the Temple of Amen. Of course, it's in ruins now, but this was a massive temple in its time. This was a temple that actually competed with Karnak Temple or the Temple of Epidasut in Waset. We're talking about the Amen priesthood. And also, adjacent to that, you see the Temple of Mut. Actually, if you look at the Temple of Mut, this temple right here was actually built inside of the mountain. So, when you go inside of this temple right here inside of the mountain, this is where you can see a relief that explains what you see right here. When you look at this sketch, you can see this is Amen sitting on the throne, and standing behind him is Mut. Now what you see pictured here is actually Juwab or Gebel. And then off of the mountain you see the Wajet. This is the actual picture right here. And then right here you see Amen. Also, if you go back to the time of Ursuma Akra, Satepara, Ramesa Mariaman, this is a sketch right here that's showing you even during his time, he looked at this area as being the home of Amen. This is also Amen sitting on the throne here, or sitting on the square. And here you see Ramesa, who's paying homage to Amen. Amen is being protected by the Wajet. And you see the head crown, the crown of Upper Kemet. This is actually carved in stone in the temple of Abu Simbel. So in Abu Simbel, in ancient times, would have been Ta-Seti, Ta-Nehisi. So it's showing you that the Africans validated the fact that not only did Amen come from the south, but that African people came from the south and believed that their God came from the south.